two disclaimers before we get started tonight. One is this is usually an in-person 3-hour training. A 3-hour training on Zoom is probably not going to work very well. So we have condensed it to 2 hours. What that does mean is some of the details we're not going to go super in-depth into until, and you'll get in-time trainings and resources for them at the time where you need them. So we used to spend a lot of time on eBudde this early, but you couldn't do any of the functionality, prior to January. And so a lot of that information was kind of in one ear and out the other. So we've changed our strategy to where we're going to go through an overview of the entire season tonight, but then we're going to release resources and just-in-time videos every single week throughout the cookie program, as well as we have cookie chats every week on Wednesday at noon and Wednesday at 6 p.m. So we're going to talk all about all of the resources and ways to get help and all throughout tonight. So just be patient with that. The other big disclaimer is, of course, COVID. There are still some unknowns. So we're going to talk about some things tonight. In your resources and guides, there is a QR code in several places. And what that's going to do is take you at any time to the council's most current COVID information. And that's because we know that things may update or change. I mean, we already see that our counties sometimes are moving in and out of different levels. And so it's going to be really important that we stay fluid throughout the program and that we're able to continue to access those resources as changes are made. We will also communicate in a variety of ways through the servicing and cookie managers, through social media, and we will probably utilize eBudde blasts a lot this year too, so it shoots it out to everybody who's utilizing eBudde. We'll get a lot more into all of that later. I just kind of wanted to say up front that there are definitely going to be some unknowns over the course of the next few hours. So don't let that overwhelm you, because we're going to give you a lot of really great information about changes and some awesome stuff that we've made to keep everybody healthy and ready for the cookie program this year. All right, and with that, we will get started. And Kyle's going to be monitoring the chat. I'm going to kind of watch it too. So just, let us know if there's something that's not making sense or we need to go over some more. Okay, so as we know, everything that we do here at Girl Scouts is rooted in the Girl Scout promise and law. So it's important at all times that we're modeling this behavior for the girls. This is the best time that we have to show as adults how we can be a sister to every Girl Scout, how we can be honest and fair, and how we can make the right choices and do the right things. This is an amazing program the girls get a lot out of, and especially when they have really incredible adults like you all leading them. Okay, so we started to talk about this a little bit with COVID-19 safety guidelines. Girl Scouts of Colorado is constantly monitoring Centers for Disease Control and in contact with the Colorado Department of Public Health. So we are regularly engaging in calls. We have a team here at Girl Scouts of Colorado that is an emergency response team for COVID that is constantly keeping up to date with the information and making decisions and changes based upon it. On our Girl Scouts of Colorado webpage, even beginning back in March, and it will continue on, there is a bright pink banner that is across the homepage that always has the most up-to-date COVID information. So if you have questions, a good thing to do is to go there and click on that banner, and it's going to update all of the time for you. It will also work from the QR code in the guides. So safety first. Safety is our first concern this year, of course, for the girls, for the volunteers, for everyone. So a question that I know everyone has on their mind, we are planning to move forward with in-person cookie booths along with some alternative options. We are going to talk about that a lot more later, but I know sometimes you have that big question in your head and it's easier to just answer it up front and then keep on moving. So plans definitely can change though, and probably will change in some ways. So we're going to talk about a lot of that this evening. We do have some new things to talk about. We're going to talk about Troop Cookie Manager roles and responsibilities. We're going to talk through the important dates and dates of action and make sure that you have all the resources you need and where to find them to complete the entire program. So what's new this year? We've got a really cool spirited mascot. So the mascot this year is the horse. It is very cool. There's a lot of camping themed stuff. They use these bold primary colors throughout. We're going to show you some of the rewards later, but I think the girls are really going to love this, particularly here in Colorado. eBudde. We have some new enhancements in eBudde, some really cool things like cupboard scheduling. So if you are scheduling a cupboard pickup, no longer is it just kind of like lumped into a day. When you pick that cupboard, you're actually going to pick a time frame. This allows us for social distancing, keeps our cupboard manager safe. It may be that our cupboard pickups are actually contactless at that point, depending on our CDC guidelines. So you're always going to want to be, and we'll talk more later, but you're going to always want to check the most up-to-date information in your cupboard information block. But the very neat thing is that you'll now know exactly what time to go and your order will be ready for you. eBudde Mobile, I know a lot of you last year, everyone kind of embraced it. You can do your initial order, your booth selections, everything right in the app. So I would encourage you to download the eBudde app if you haven't already done so. It's already ready for this season, and kind of get that ready. Virtual rallies. So there's two ways that you can, with your troop, attend a virtual rally this year. One is that Little Brownie Baker has put together virtual rally for you. So they have about 60 minutes of videos that go through all of the different programs, the 5 skills related to the cookie program. You can play it for your girls, you can do it online, you can share it virtually, and it's already ready and set. And then you'll be able to request rally patches. The other option is that they will be having a virtual rally put on by the Girl Planning System, which is the same troops that have done in-person rallies in Colorado Springs, did virtual rallies for fall. So there should be a sign up out for that soon. So Morgan asked if it'll be possible to get copies of these slides later, similar to how we've received lanyards with data on them already. Yes. So yes, this will be available as a recording, not tonight's training, but there will be a recording of this training that will be available to you at all times throughout the cookie program, as well as most of this information is going to be on the website and in the Troop Cookie Manager guide as well. So I think we do send out the slide, like just the slides as well, but I know we're still maybe adding a couple of things. Tonight is the very first training, so thank you for attending. Okay, so new with the virtual rally package, and this will be available inside eBudde for you soon. There are Zoom backgrounds for hosting, so you can have kind of your mascot and your Zoom background. I actually think I have one of the new Zoom backgrounds available here. Let me put it up for you. There we go. So we've got, these are the primary colors. This is the theme this year. We've got this. So they actually chose this before COVID happened, but we're very excited to have We've Got This as our theme this year because we're saying it to each other all the time. You know, we're Girl Scouts, and things are getting thrown at us and things are changing, but we've got this. We always do, right? It's like we take our girls camping and it rains the entire time. We've got this. All right. So booth resources, these are actually already available on the Girl Scouts of Colorado website under the resources tab under cookies. So we are, there are drive-through signs available. There are social distancing signs available. So these little cookies say, thanks for standing 6 feet apart. So lots of really cool things for you. And we are going to talk a lot more about this later. Just a sneak peek, and it's not quite ready yet, but we're going to have it out to you soon. You're going to have digitally a separate guide, and the guide is going to have information on alternative booths. So it's going to have information on drive-through booths, virtual booths, online booths, all kinds of different booth options. So there's a couple final details that we're working on right now, but that will be out to you, early January prior to the beginning of the cookie program. Cookies have stayed the same this year. One new thing is that allergen statements are going to be more prevalent on the packaging, although nothing has changed in the recipe of the cookies. Little Brownie Baker has also earned a halal certification if you get any questions about that. Other than that, ingredients are the same: no high fructose corn syrup, no partially hydrogenated oils. We are part of the RSPO certification for palm oil. So part of that, the round table that works on that. And if you have any questions, there's going to be a lot of information on your order card. There's a tear off sheet with allergy information as well this year. So there's going to be a little food allergen guide available for them as part of their order card. Which is kind of neat because girls have gotten a lot of questions about that when they have their card out in the past. So like I said, no changes were made to the manufacturing process. It's just updated packaging. And with that, all right, so what's new? So probably the newest thing that we're doing this year is that we are opening girl delivery in the digital order card. So what this means is similar to our fall program, a customer can order cookies from a girl using their website and link, and the girl can go drop the cookies off on the customer's porch, and the entire transaction can take place in a contactless way. Now people have asked for this for a long time here in Colorado, so we're excited to finally be pulling the trigger and getting started on this. So I know that this brings up some concerns for you as troop cookie managers. So a couple key points. One, a parent has to go in and set up their marketplace in order to participate in this. So it's not like your girls are going to suddenly start getting girl delivered orders and their parents won't know. So it has to be turned on. Two, parents have to approve the orders. So if Grandma May in Alaska accidentally places an order for girl delivered and meant to do shipped, then I activated my watch. The parent will be able to decline it, and grandma will have the option to either cancel the order and redo it or donate the cookies. So there is an approval process. So if you get a weird order from a stranger that you don't recognize and you're like, I don't feel great about this, parent can just decline the order and girl does not go to deliver it, okay? The other thing is they have 5 days to approve the order. System is going to send them a reminder every single day. So I know those are a lot of logistics that you as troop cookie managers worry about with your parents. So we are going to have training available for your parents and for you on how to work for this. But if you've done fall, you know how very easy it is, and it's going to be very similar to that. Another new thing is we are going to open the digital order card 2 weeks early on January 17th. So girls can begin taking orders from their friends and family prior to the initial delivery day. So this is going to help girls get ready to deliver those cookies on that first day. So, they have their set customer base that they've always had, which is, Uncle Gary always orders 5 packages of Thin Mints. And girl knows that. So now Uncle Gary, for 2 weeks early, will be able to go in, order the cookies, and on the first day of cookies, the girl will be able to go and make that delivery to Uncle Gary. So it is going to be pre-selling in a way, though it is going to be to friends and family. Can a family use digital cookie, but not with the girl delivery option turned on, or is it all DOC or none? I believe that you do not have the option to turn just part of it off. So I will let you know. Will DOC only allow girl delivered for 2 weeks? No, it will continue throughout the entire program. We're just going to open it 2 weeks early so that troops and girls can kind of get a handle on their program a little bit earlier this year. So a lot of other troops do this. They take pre-orders with an order card or something like this. A lot of other councils. They've seen a lot of success with this because so what happens is, troops can place their order for the cupboard because they can monitor their girls' DOC girl delivered cookies that come in those first couple of weeks, and they'll know right away that, oh, I'm going to need more cookies than I ordered initially. So it's just going to give you a jump start on managing your inventory. Will DOC only allow girl delivered for 2 weeks? So yeah, no, I don't know that they can order it shipped during those 2 weeks, but that is a really great question. If Laura or Kyle know, you could drop it in the chat there. I think it's for girl delivered, though I don't know that there's a way to turn on parts of it. And the pre-sale is not before the initial order is due. So initial order is due on January 11th, and the opening of the DOC is going to take place on January 17th. So the one benefit is that you'll know prior to your delivery day kind of what all of your girls need. And you can place an order for the cupboard, which we'll talk about when the cupboards are going to open later. So you can place an order right up front if you need it. We know that troop leaders may be conservative this year on their initial order, and we understand that. So this is going to just kind of give you a way to monitor how it's going prior to the cookie delivery day opening, the traditional opening of the program. And I do know that there's a lot of questions around this. We have a lot of questions too. So we're very excited and we think it's going to go great. But of course, there's going to be we're going to learn as we go. There's going to be some questions. The good news is a lot of councils have been doing this for years. So there's a lot of places for us to learn from. They just haven't been doing it during COVID time. So we are going to be ready with just-in-time videos and everything for you. Can TCMC orders for all girls in the troop as they come in? Yes, just like you can see all your girls' orders in digital order card as it exists right now. And so there will be really good DOC trainings that show you how to pull those reports, how to monitor that, how to see if a girl has open orders, and all of that. Yep, okay. Okay, so access to emails will go out to volunteers on January 3rd and to parents and caregivers on January 10th, allowing time for us to troubleshoot access issues, get the storefronts set up and ready to go on January 17th. And just to let you know, GSUSA has let us know that 85% of girl delivered cookie orders are approved by the caregiver within 4 hours. So this really has gone over well in other councils. I think parents are kind of on top of things during cookie programs, sort of regardless, or they know that the order's coming because, you know, grandma told them, hey, I just ordered. And so they'll go in and approve them or do it once a day. So Jessica, that is a great question. So I will say this training is a little bit bouncy in that we're trying to answer some big concerns first, but we are going to talk all about what the initial order is very soon and how to figure out the number of boxes you're going to sell. And yes, we're going to talk a little bit about that too for initial orders, Brandy. We just kind of wanted to get this information out there up front because it's going to be our biggest change. So then when I drop it into the conversation around everything else, you won't be like, whoa. Okay, so that's how DOC is going to work. So the very first thing that you're going to want to do as a troop is to have eBudde access. So I think we have already opened eBudde. So if you had your troop cookie manager agreement turned in and filled out in your troop's ACH, you've probably already been granted access to eBudde. Now, we have had a system pause while they refreshed everything for the last week and a half or so. So we've been on pause and being able to approve anything that has come in during that time, but we expect to be up and running again by the end of the week and back to putting that through. So Kyle's gonna put the link for the Troop Cookie Manager agreement into the chat for us. If anybody has not filled out their agreement, please do so because you'll have eBudde access by next week. So you can get in there to start monitoring your program, your troop, and your girls. Okay. And there's going to be some changes to cookie delivery, but we're going to talk about that later. The lifetime membership for graduating Girl Scout ambassadors is back. So any senior girl who sells 500 packages of cookies is going to get their lifetime membership for free. There is we did bring back the Shoe That Grows donation program, the Give program, and very important to note is that all camp discounts that were earned last year in the cookie program or fall program are going to roll over and stack with discounts for this year. So theoretically, if a girl participated and earned the full 10% in fall last year, in cookies last year, in fall this year, and in cookies this year, she will get 40% off the summer camp fee for this year. So they did stack. We did not wipe them out from last year. So I know that's a question a lot of folks have. Okay. So this is a look at the reward panel for this year. If they're not already on the Girl Scouts of Colorado cookie resource page, they will be uploaded very soon. I know we shoot for December 1st or the first week in December, so I can definitely double check that in a few minutes. But these are all of the rewards for this year. So not a ton of changes. We're going to talk a little bit about the events in a minute and how how those are a little bit fluid. But really cool horse stuff. I love that the blanket and the flowers come off. So you can have a really girly flowery horse, or you can have a very tough horse, whatever your scout might really like there. We do have a mystery reward at 400 total DOC packages, very trendy. Kids like mystery rewards right now. And so everything else has pretty much stayed the same as far as the hometown hero. You still have to input your data if you have 15 hometown hero packages, and we are going to talk about that. Those are donated packages to a local organization. You are going to still earn 65 cents per package. Troops with a selling girl average of 350 packages or more will earn 70 cents a package. Cookie prices have not changed this year. They remain $4 a package, other than $5 for s'mores and the Toffee-tastic. So no changes to that. Belinda, I'll check on your eBudde access at the end there. If you have been approved as a TCM, you may have access. Even if you didn't get an email, you could go to eBudde and just try logging in. Sometimes they just get filtered out by spam. All right, so celebration events. We have traditionally done girls who sell 1,000 packages or more are a top achiever, and they're invited to a celebration event. And then girls who sell 2,500 packages or more are top 2,500 cookie CEO, and they were invited to a celebration event. Now, last year, we did have our in-person events canceled. So we are looking to move forward to book our traditional events at the zoo and the Renaissance Festival, though we have not been able to confirm those dates or those programs with those vendors at this time. So you're still going to have the option of the cookie credits, the 50 cookie credits at the $1,000 plus the medallion, or the 250 for the 2,500 packages. However, we hope to have in-person events. However, we are going to have some virtual events too. Now I'd like to give you a sneak peek at one of the virtual events. And I will say I was a little like, a virtual event, I don't know, but then I saw this and I was sold. So it is a Disney on Broadway virtual event. So there's two different programs. One's for daisies, brownies, and juniors, and the other is for older girls. It is going to come with a Disney on Broadway merchandise item and a patch. So the program is going to be on Zoom. It's for, I believe, the girl and one other member of the household could be on the Zoom together. You're going to explore storytelling. So our younger scouts are going to explore characters like Elsa and Lion King and see how they brought Disney movies to life on Broadway. And then our older girls are going to learn about the whole world of Broadway, like how you take a show from beginning to end. They're going to meet a lot of women who are involved in behind the scenes of Broadway, actresses, take a look at, just the whole journey to bringing a Disney movie to fruition on Broadway. So we are super excited about this. We think the girls are going to be super excited about this. The plan as it currently stands is for us to have this Disney virtual option, to have a Colorado-based virtual option, and then hopefully to have in-person events as well. So we're moving forward on all fronts, trying to plan for anything that happens. So we will definitely be keeping you posted. This one is for sure. Is there an option for our girls that hit highest levels last year? Can they attend any of the events this year since they got canceled last year, either virtual or in person? That's a great question. We did send out cookie credits to all of the girls last year because unfortunately we did have to cancel those events. So those will not be a rollover option, but good question. Oops, I went backwards. All right. So troop rewards. Troops with a selling girl average of 425 packages will receive a super seller patch for each selling girl and $25 per selling girl and 2 adults in additional. And troops with a selling girl average of 625 packages will receive an additional $25 in proceeds per selling girl and 2 adults. So we've had this in place for a little while. How this works is you order your cookies and you owe, say, $4 per package of cookies for all of your Thin Mints. The system will automatically subtract out the 65 cents that your troop earns in proceeds, or 70 cents as you get to 325 selling average. And then what it'll do is on the last day before the debit, it'll subtract out this amount for you so the funds are available immediately to use if your troop earns these rewards. So I'm going to show you more of what that looks like later, but these are just some ways for your troop to earn some extra funds if you have a big goal this year or a big trip that you're saving for. Service unit incentives are back again. We did this last year. So I know that the Fort Carson, no, security-wide field troops, and I know some of you were on here, did a big trunk or treat and they paid for all of the candy for the girls using the service unit incentive. So service units that were 3% or 6% over are going to get some additional cents per package. Robin, good question. So digital order card is just, that's digitally the way that we sell cookies. So the girls can either take in-person orders or they can take orders using their website. So we'll look at that a little bit more here in just a minute as well. Okay, so S'mores Club. This was very successful this year. So as a lot of you know, the S'mores Club incentive for this year are custom Converse. So girls who sent 15 emails and sold 15 items, paper or online in the fall program, did qualify for the first part of the S'mores incentive. We had 2,688 girls meet the criteria. So now if they sell 400 packages during the cookie program, then they are going to earn their personalized S'mores Club avatar patch plus the gift card for the custom Converse. So this is a very cool reward. They go right to the Converse website. It's converse.com/custom. They design their own shoes. We just email out the voucher for them. So it's an instant S'mores reward this year. No potential holds up for COVID. We know it was rough waiting for the sweatshirts last year. And so we wanted to make sure we had something that was, less physical transaction. We could just get right to you. So we're pretty excited for this one. This was a fall reward last year and the girls who earned it absolutely love it. We have a really cool blog post where a bunch of girls sent in pictures of the Converse that they made. And if you go to our blog and search it, you can check it out. So very, very cool reward. And of course, Troop Cookie Managers and Troop Fall Product Managers are eligible as well. So if your troop sold $550 in combined sales during the 2020 Fall Product Program, you get not only an exclusive booth selection opportunity for 2021, but if your girls do have a 400 package cookie selling average, then the Troop Cookie Manager and Troop Fall Product Manager will also earn the customized Converse and the personalized S'mores Club patch. Okay, so I'm going to pause here for questions. So Gail's saying she can log into eBudde, but there is no information in there for 2020, 2021. So what that means is that your Troop Cookie Manager agreement means you don't have an approved Troop Cookie Manager agreement for this year yet. So it could mean that either you haven't submitted it or you've submitted it in the last 2 weeks while we've been in the system pause, so we haven't been able to approve it. You have an email saying it was approved. Did you by chance fill it out with a different email address than you're logging into eBudde with? Some people change emails. Okay. Angela, yes, it is fast. So we are going to, this will be recorded and we'll send it out. Also the Troop Cookie Manager, the TCM guide is going to go step by step through everything I'm talking about as well. All right. Yep. So just your product program specialist, Gail, is that what region are you in? Yeah. Awesome. All right. So Troop Cookie Manager, expectations and responsibilities. So first and foremost, we're going to abide by the Girl Scout promise and law, use discretion in all confidential matters about our girls' information, follow Girl Scout policies and procedures, and serve as a good example for the girls. As a Troop Cookie Manager, if you have concerns about a girl or parent caregiver in your troop, you're going to want to let your volunteer support specialist or your service unit cookie manager know. So hopefully by now you've all received a welcome email from your service unit cookie manager, just letting you know, hey, here's when you'll get materials, which will be probably January. Here's my name and contact information, sending you the link for the Troop Cookie Manager agreement and those kinds of things. If you have not, a good place to check in is with your volunteer support specialist or your product program specialist, and we can get you in touch with your service unit cookie manager, okay? And they're gonna kind of be your volunteer go-to person throughout the program. So chances are, if you're a brand new Troop Cookie Manager, the service unit cookie manager is going to work to pair you up with someone who's experienced or help you with the steps themselves. We have amazing service unit cookie managers all across the state. We're very, very lucky. Okay, so you're going to attend in-person training, which you're already doing. And then do know that we have it's open office cookie chats every Wednesday noon and at 6 o'clock. So we are going to there will be 2 of us, product program specialists, just on here for you. We can look at your troops, eBudde. We can help you distribute cookies to girls. We can answer questions if you think you need a cupboard order. Like, we can do absolutely anything during that time. And that is going to continue past when the cookie program ends. So we will be there every Wednesday at noon and at 6. If those times don't work for you, reach out to your service unit cookie manager and we will figure something else out. So you are going to make sure you collect Girl Scout Cookie Program permission slips from your parents and caregivers. That's on the last page of the family guide. You're going to train the girls and your troops and their families on the cookie program. Adhere to all deadlines and submit all required paperwork. Submit an initial order of cookies for your troop. Arrange for timely and secure pickup and distribution of cookies to and from your family. Keep accurate records and receipts. So this is probably the first of 7 times that we'll tell you receipts are your best friend. You know, at the end of the cookie program, I often have some troop cookie managers come in and like things are not zeroing out for them. But if they have their receipt books, we can sit there, we'll go transaction by transaction and we'll figure out what happened. It's when they don't have receipts that we can get into a little bit of trouble because they're pulling up text messages and emails. Even when you're giving cookies to your own daughter, write a receipt because you will forget that you did it. So the best thing that you can do. So we're going to get your order cards, your family guides, your troop cookie manager from your service unit cookie manager. You'll get all of your materials, usually at the beginning of January, sometime in January. They usually check that you filled out your cookie manager agreement and that you've attended training, and then they'll have a time for you to come, probably do a porch pickup for all of your cookie materials. We did do door order cards again this year so that you could fill out the little door hanger and leave it on neighbors' doors with your information or your digital order cookie link. They still have the receipt book and the money envelopes, order cards, family guides, all of that good stuff. Okay. Okay, so we're going to organize booth sales according to all guidelines, keep accurate records throughout. You're going to want to keep eBudde updated. We say at least weekly. I really recommend making sure that your eBudde's pretty worked out every day. I know most troop cookie managers are in there all day, every day. They're playing with things, changing things around, looking to pick up booths, all of that good stuff. If you're struggling with eBudde, please reach out and ask us for help. The earlier we can help you kind of untangle what's going on in eBudde, the better off it is. And that's true for any kind of issue you're having. If you think you have too many cookies, if you have a girl that was supposed to sell who, dropped out of the troop, or you're not hearing back from the parent, the sooner we know that there's an issue, the sooner we can help you fix it. And I'm going to knock on all the wood, but I have never seen an issue where a troop just ordered too many cookies where we haven't been able to help them get them figured out to other people. Our cupboard managers are great about like letting me know, oh, hey, someone's coming to pick up 20 packages or, 5 cases of trefoils. Didn't you say you had a troop that has, 10 extra cases of trefoils? Let me hook them both up so that we can change them to those. And we do have a cookie exchange built right into eBudde where you can list any excess cookies. So there's, that's kind of the big thing that's on most people's minds, but any issue you're having, the sooner we know, the better. You're going to arrange for your rewards and getting those out to girls, accept and respond to communications from GSCO staff. We do want to make sure that nobody opts out of eBudde emails this year. There is a place for you to do that in the settings tab of eBudde, but as things change with COVID, or you might have a booth that a store suddenly calls us and says, our store's shutting down for 2 days. We've got to clean it. We need to be able to reach you immediately to let you know. So please make sure that your eBudde emails are on, because that's the quickest, fastest way to blast information to you. You're going to communicate important information to council, volunteers, and Girl Scout families. Ensure all verbal and written communications do not contain profanity or condescending remarks, and volunteers will notify GSCO if they have a potential conflict of interest. All right, so your cookie team. So troop cookie manager is you all, or you may be the troop leaders here learning as well, but you're going to offer your support and stay in communication with girls and families. For new TCMs in your first or second cookie season, you're definitely going to want to connect with your service unit cookie manager, get a buddy troop cookie manager who's been doing this for a while, who you can even give view only access in eBudde to look at things with you. Girl Scout troop leaders are the best. They're a sister to every Girl Scout, and they're always willing to share and help. They've learned a lot of lessons, and they're really willing to help with them. So if you're having trouble finding that kind of partnership, let us know and we'll help you find someone to work with for you, or your service unit cookie manager will. So volunteers, we have cookie captains. So we'll talk a little bit more about this, but these are older girls that have participated in the cookie program for at least 3 years, and they are volunteering to make themselves available. So if you're a brand new troop with younger girls, you can set up time with one of these cookie captains to come in and share tips and tricks. Now, we're still figuring out exactly what this is going to look like with COVID. This might mean that you have a cookie captain on a Zoom call. Last year, we had cookie captains available to go to booths and work with the daisies and brownies who were new at booths. We're still figuring that out, exactly how that's going to work. So we will let you know as soon as possible. Then you'll have your service unit cookie managers, your cookie cupboard managers, and what cookie cupboards are a place where you can pick up more cookies throughout the program. So you'll place your initial order as a troop, and then as you find that you need more cookies, you're able to place an order at the cupboard and go get more. Booth coordinators are area folks who will approve your My Sale sites. And we'll talk about the difference between council booths and My Sale sites here in a few minutes. Your primary staff is going to be your volunteer support specialist, and your product program specialists who are like me or Kyle. All right, so this is kind of your communication chain. Girls and caregivers will come to you, the troop cookie managers, and then you can go to either your service unit cookie manager or your volunteer support specialist with any issues that you have. Okay, so cookie captains. I did see a question if girls should have heard back. As long as the girls have a current membership and have participated in the program for 3 years, we are going to be, if they didn't receive it already, they'll be receiving their form and their guidebook and a video recording with the training and everything soon. We will also be sending a list of the cookie captains out to the service unit cookie managers so that they know what resources they have available and can share them with our troop leaders. All right. They do also, if you have any girls that are doing cookie captain, these hours do also count toward volunteer hours for school requirements. So they can kind of double dip there. Whew, okay, I know I'm going fast. So I know we are about to get into all the details of what you do when you get into eBudde and how to place your initial order and all of that. But let's pause here for some questions. Yes, you can absolutely have a cookie captain join a virtual meeting. That's a fantastic way to use them. And a lot of our cookie captains are great on Zoom because these kids are better at it than we are. Any other questions we have not answered or missed yet? Okay. So lots of access questions I was seeing. So what I will say is if it's really kind of a tree. You fill out that trip cookie manager agreement and wait for it to be approved. If you can always go to ebudde.littlebrowniebaker.com and just try logging in if you think you have access but haven't gotten an email yet. Sometimes it gets filtered out or goes to spam. So you can just try logging in. If this year is blank, it means it's not approved yet. So that means we're working on that. How do we get in touch with a cookie captain? Your service unit cookie managers are going to have that information with a list of our approved girls. So the deadline for the form was yesterday. So we're working on getting our list together of our cookie captains. And Belinda, will we give you an idea of how many cookies you should order for your starting inventory order? So yes, we will. We're going to talk about that. We're not going to give you a number, but we're going to talk about how you're going to go about sort of figuring out that number with the parents and the girls in your program, for sure. Anyone else? Okay. I know it's a lot of information, so I will say everybody leaves this training feeling a little bit overwhelmed because it's a lot of information and you're not sitting down with it yet, but it will all make sense and click in. And I promise we have so many resources available to you throughout the program. And I know those of you who have done this for a long time can attest to the fact that that's true. So some encouragement for the newbies in the chat would be awesome. All right. Okay, so now we're to the get ready, get set, and go section of our training. So get ready, we already talked about the Troop Cookie Manager agreement. You're going to check with your troop leader. So once you get into eBudde, the first thing you're going to do is check your troop roster and make sure that all of your girls are showing up on there. If you have a girl that's no longer in your troop, you're going to let your volunteer support specialist know so that they can move them out. If you have girls that aren't showing up, it might mean that they're not re-registered yet for this year. So we want to work on getting all of those rosters correct so you have an accurate list of girls in eBudde. Thank you, Gail. It's not that bad once you start doing it, right? All right. Every troop needs to have a troop bank account. So that's part of your ACH authorization. Troops that have not submitted an ACH cannot pick up their initial order of cookies. So if this is a potential concern for you, start talking with your volunteer support specialist now about what we can do about that, okay? All right, so here's some handy little check marks, and these are in your TCM guide. So if you are a list task-oriented person like I am, and you want to say, here's what I do in the order that I do it, these check marks are a great way to follow it. They're also going to be in eBudde on your dashboard with dates. So it's going to show you right there on your homepage what you should be worrying about right now. So you're going to, in January, you're going to plan your troop and parent meeting. And it might be that you're doing this on Zoom. It might be that you have a cookie captain helping you do this year. And it might be that you have one with the girls that's separate from the one with the parents, okay? So you're going to want to give your parents and caregivers all of the information about the cookie program and make sure you collect those permission slips for each participating girl. And at that point too, the cookie rallies will be going on. So if you're going to bring your troop to one of the cookie rallies that are being hosted, I don't know if there are any in-person ones right now because of the COVID guidelines. I know that there are probably some service units hoping to have them. So I know we'll keep tabs on that, but we do have some virtual options. January 9th and 16th, there will be a virtual rallies hosted by the GPS girls. So the registration for that will be up on the events page very, very soon. And GSCO cookie resource page is the place to go with everything. So you'll have for everything. You'll have a virtual rally kit there. You'll have templates for everything. That is a good place to just keep checking. And at one of these other breaks, I'll probably just pull it up and just kind of go through everything that's on there with you all. LBB Rally Guide is going to be there, but you're just going to want to work with your VSS and check COVID guidelines before you schedule any in-person events. Because as of right now, I believe we are on a hold for any of those kinds of events. So go with the flow. So this is what your roster will look like in eBudde. So you'll sign into eBudde. And when you go to the girls tab, your girls list will show up here. So if a girl's name is in red, it means that she is not in your troop. So it means that she may have been in your troop at one point, but we moved her out because they're not participating this year, they're not involved. And so they'll show up as red and inactive. And that kind of goes to Jamie's question that she had in the chat, which she asked, if a girl who ends the season with 0 cookies assigned to them, do they count selling girl average? No, they do not. So if they have no cookies assigned to them, they do not count for any of the rewards other than the initial order rewards. Initial rewards are based on your initial order, and we do have one set of those rewards this year. And I'm going to get to that in just a few minutes here, but all of the other awards that are based rewards on a selling girl average, any girl who does not participate does not count against you. So they just should be left as a 0. Okay. So you'll be able able to access the digital Troop Cookie Manager guide on the cookie resource page soon. You know what, I'm going to, Julie or Kyle, can you check and see if it's already up there? I should have checked earlier today. Coming back from Thanksgiving is a real.
Sorry, what were we checking?
To see if the Troop Cookie Manager digital guide is already available.
Okay, let me go look.
Thank you. And then you could you link it if it is?
Yes.
Great. And so on that page, it will also be all of the digital safety guidelines and tips, which are going to talk about how you will work with social media. So how you can have, and we'll talk more about this too, but you're going to have your digital order cookie link that you can share on your own Facebook page or to places with family and friends. And then you can advertise the cookie program in other places on social media by saying things like our troop is going to have a booth at this time, or our troop is going to do a drive-through booth here. So that's kind of the way that you would use other social media sites other than your own that's private to family and friends, where you'll post the digital order cookie link. Okay, awesome. So the TCM guide is up on the website. So if you click on this link right here, it's going to take you to it, and it's going to show you everything that you're going to pick up in digital form from your service unit cookie manager, but it is going to have all of the dates, the calendars, the checklists, everything that you're going to be looking for. Morgan, so you beat me to one thing. So she said her eBudde shows on her girls list, Troop 45271, first name and site, last name as a girl on my roster. So one neat thing we're going to do this year is we're going to have a fake girl in every troop to use for the digital order card to use. So for those of you who are new, why this is going to be helpful is you can be logged in as the fake or faux girl at all of your booths and keep all of your digital cookie under the fake girl until the end, and then you can distribute them out. So it makes the accounting a lot easier. Another neat thing that you can do is you can make a video for your entire troop and have it under this digital order card link. So we're gonna get into virtual rallies here in a little bit, but so it's going to be there for you in a few different ways. So yes, so that is why you would see that. It is going to be really helpful. We're pretty darn excited about this. I buried the lead a little, but that's okay. It's good. I like when everyone gets excited about these things, because they're changes we've been pushing for quite a few years. And COVID has a lot of bad right now, but it did push forward some technology that we've needed for a while. And if you don't show a fake girl on your troop yet, don't worry about it at this point. It's still really early. We're just having you check your rosters right now. So everyone will have that. And you will, when you get your official access to the DOC on January 3rd, you'll be able to see how all of that is going to work and go. Okay. So we are gonna, like I said, host those virtual cookie chats noon and 6 from now through March. We will have live webinar training events and how-to micro training throughout the program. They will be posted to Facebook and YouTube. There's also training inside eBudde for every one of these topics as well. So inside eBudde, you can get training on how to distribute cookies, how to build a booth. So anything you forget is right in there. What we will also do is our weekly cookie chats will kind of be targeted. So the week that everybody gets DOC access, we're probably going to pull up DOC access and be looking through it and answering questions. That is also a good place if you have specific questions about your own access or something funky going on with a girl, or you want to talk about a specific My Sales site, those cookie chats are a great place to come and do that. The YouTube channel you can subscribe to, yes. I do not have the link off the top of my head here, but if you go to the Facebook page and click on one of the links to YouTube videos for Girl Scouts of Colorado, we do have a channel. I can follow up in an email. I'll send an email after the training to all of you and make sure I put that in there. If you could note that, Kyle or Julie, for me, I'll make sure that we send that out to you. The fake girl login, I don't know how that's going to work yet. That'll be when DOC goes live, and we'll have some more information around all of that in January. So because it's new to us as well, and because there isn't like a practice live site we can get into. We will gain access, and we're going to come up with we'll have resources and micro videos and probably some more hosted trainings like this. I know last year we did several just DOC trainings and they ran about 30 minutes long. And so look for those kind of links as well. Okay. So cookie program materials. So this is everything that you'll be receiving from your service unit cookie manager. I forgot to mention that you will be receiving also a sample package of Thin Mints this year. So last year we did the Lemon Ups because they were new. This year we went with the Thin Mints because what we are hearing is that our customers are craving traditions. So a few things I want to share with you that Little Brownie shared with us and about our fall program is that Halloween sales were actually up 10% this year, and that cookie sales in general are up about 12%. So people are looking for their comfort items. So I know there's a lot of concerns around the cookie program, but there are still the same customers that exist that have always been out there in Colorado. Our challenge is to get them linked up with your girls. Our membership is down about, we are down in girls because there are some girls that are choosing to hold on this year to wait or are not participating in any activities. And so we actually think that there is the potential for the girls who are participating that they're actually going to have more customers this year. And it did work that way in our fall program. So surprisingly, our fall program, we actually ended up about 10% up over last year with less girls. People are anxious to rally around things right now. They want these girls to go back to camp this year. They want things to go back to normal, and they want the girls to be able to go back to their activities. And so people do want to support that. So it's just going to be key how we communicate with the customers what we're planning on doing when we can do the things again. Does that make sense? I know it's a hard thing. I have 3 girls who all sell cookies too. And so it's been interesting, like in conversations with their troop leaders and how we're going to do it. And so I'm feeling what you're all feeling right now, but I'm also kind of excited to have something that is just a thing we do every year and we get excited about. So I don't know, I'm very much looking forward to it. All right, so that's another pause for questions, please. What do we got?
So Cassandra was asking if with the fake girl, if they get a password for that. I believe from the training, because this is new to us too, we do give them a password for that as well.
Yeah, basically I was just saying we're going to have some more information. We'll have a DOC tip sheet come out around that time with how the girl delivered is going to work and how we'll have that fake girl working. And it is, yes, we don't have a practice environment for that, unfortunately. So but we will have some DOC specific trainings, chats, and videos for you.
Mm-hmm. And yes, Gail, we'll send all the customers that way. Mm-hmm. I love that you guys are up in girls. That's awesome.
Yes. Okay, so I do see 2 really good questions. Angie said, any chance that shipping will be cheaper for ordered cookies? So I don't have a lot of details yet, but I will tell you that we are working on a potential option for this year. So details to come, but we are looking to have at least some help with it during some specific times. So some clues, I don't mean to talk in puzzles, but we're working with some partners that can hopefully help us to subsidize the shipping. So the shipping kind of is what it is from Little Brownie Baker. And so we're exploring ways that we may be able to get some help with that. And then Gail, you said you have a clarifying question about the girl delivery option. I say, go ahead and shoot for it.
Yeah, I mean, just assuming that inventory comes from what girls have on hand.
Yes.
Same to the like DOC in hand option.
Yes. So that is definitely going to be a place where parents are going to need to communicate with their troop cookie managers. So and we will talk a little more in inventory management, but before a parent approves an order, they should check in. If they don't have the cookies themselves in the girls' stash, they are going to want to check with the troop cookie manager or other parents in the troop to make sure they can get those 5 packages of Thin Mints. Because, we know in the last few days, sometimes the cupboard doesn't have them anymore. So this is a place where we definitely want to make sure that our parents are checking in prior to approving those orders in the system. And you as a Troop Cookie Manager will be able to see those orders as they come in on DOC as well. So you might also have a bit of a heads up, like you'll get an email that says so-and-so just got an order, you know, and you'll say, oh gosh, I know we have no toffees and I have no interest in picking up a case of toffees from the cupboard. So our troop is done with toffee for this year. You know, so does another parent have them? You know, if not, maybe we're just declining that portion of the order. So great questions. All right. Keep on rolling. I know it's hard to give up this much time in December. I really appreciate all of you. So I try to be very respectful of your time, but thank you so much for being here, for the girls and for everything. Okay, so get set. So troop initial order is going to be due in eBudde by 8 o'clock on January 11th. This is where you'll place your first order of cookies that are going to be picked up on our initial delivery day. Now, a couple changes to delivery day this year. If your troop is a troop that orders more than 500 cases of cookies, you are going to have an appointment at a warehouse. It's called Cookie Concierge, and it'll either probably be on Thursday or Friday. If we get a lot of these, it might even be earlier, prior to delivery day. You'll show up at the warehouse, your order will be pre-counted out and ready to load. What we're aiming to do here is to have less contact, less people spending less time at our delivery sites. So we have some troops that pull up with a U-Haul and they're loading 2,000 cases of cookies. So we're going to pull that out of our normal flow on delivery day and have that work separately, okay? So you will, when you go into place when the delivery sites tab opens for your initial order, you'll have the option for Cookie Concierge if you're over 500 packages of cookies. Okay. Yes, having multiple troops with over 500 cases combined will count. You just need to communicate it to us and let us know that you're picking up for multiple troops. But yes, we really want to make the traffic flow as easy as possible and have the least amount of contact. 500 cases. Sorry, did I say packages? No, 500 cases. 500 packages would be crazy. So yes, 500 cases of cookies. Do you need to be TCM for all troops? Probably not. I would say this is a case, just reach out to your product program specialist and they'll work with you on this. Okay. Okay, so we talked about that. Council cookie booth selection will begin on January 25th. So I did see a question in the chat that asked, when can my sale booths be entered? They can already be entered. So if you have access to eBudde, it is on. My sale booths are booths that you find yourself, not council booths. So my sale booths can be any business that you talk to that council does not already use. So no big box stores, like you're not allowed to go to Walmart or King Super on your own. So this might be somewhere like your church at Exit on Sunday that they let you set up a booth, you know, in the parking lot, or your place of worship, I'm sorry. Or it could be, you know, a Little League tournament that's happening and you talk to the place that owns the field and the coordinators of the tournament, and they're okay with you having a booth there. So you would then put that booth into eBudde and it would be approved, and then you would have that site. It could also be a store, or it could be a drive-through location. So looking at some new options this year, a place that maybe wasn't good for foot traffic, a good place to hold a booth in the past, might be an excellent place to hold a drive-through cookie booth. So it might be that you have it could be a hardware store that's on the corner of a busy intersection and they have a back of a parking lot that isn't used much that you could cone off and use as a drive-through. So you'll kind of want to be, and we'll definitely talk more about that, but you'll want to be looking and thinking about options in that way this year. So that would be something new. Okay. All right, so your initial order is, like we said, the order that's going to be placed that you'll pick up at the beginning of the program. Your initial orders are entered in packages and eBudde will convert them into full cases. The total amount of cookies goes on the other line. Once you hit submit, you'll get locked out of the initial order tab. So lots of questions about what the initial order should look like this year. So we have always said in the past that you want enough inventory to get through whatever your girls are going to take on the first day, plus the first 2 weeks of booths. So a good way and a thing you can be doing now is just asking your parents, who wants to participate in cookies this year? You know, we hope that you all do. How do you want to participate? Does your girl only want to work booths? You know, what you can look at what your girls took last year. If you weren't TCM last year, you should still be able to get in there and look. There is an initial order calculator that's available on the Girl Scouts of Colorado website. So as you talk to your parents and you ask them, hey, you know, what do you want to start with? A lot of troop leaders do it where they'll start a girl off with, you know, 2 cases of Thin Mints, a case of Samoas, a case of Tagalongs, and then 6 packages of the Do-si-dos, the trefoils, and then maybe 3 of the s'mores, 3 of the toffee, and 6 of the lemon up. Kind of like a little mixed starter pack if you're absolutely brand new and have no idea where else to start. So you could look at doing something like that. Now you can talk to your families ahead of time, and one of your families might say, I know we're going to sell a lot more. But when you have a brand new family and a brand new troop, you don't want to give them a ton of inventory up front without getting some money back from them. So you're kind of going to be trading cookies out. Now, as you get more experienced and you get to know your families, you may have some families that you just give 400 packages to up front because you know they're going to sell them. You know that they're going to need them, and you don't want to kind of be going back and forth with them, you know, constantly throughout the beginning of the program. So you can, you know, using eBudde, you can kind of plug in what you want to give to each girl initially. You can say, okay, I think we're going to work 4 booths those first 2 weekends. I'm going to assume, you know, I've got King Supers. If we have King Supers, you know, I think we're going to sell 150 packages per booth. So I'm going to assume another 150 packages times, you know, times 3 booths, and then you'll kind of get a number and round up in cases from there. I can guarantee you a lot of your girls are going to come back right away and say, I need 2 more cases of Thin Mints, because they always do. But we expect and understand that troops will probably order pretty conservatively this year. Now, that does mean that there might be increased traffic and stress on the cupboards. So we do our best to get cookies to the cupboard. This is why we have the 72-hour hold on the cupboard order. So you do have to place your cupboard order 72 hours before pickup. That's to allow us to get cookies to the cupboards. So I do believe, I know that we added some cupboards in Colorado Springs. I think some other areas either added cupboards or we kept as many cupboards, if not more, in all of our areas, anticipating that there is going to probably be increased cupboard traffic this year. We are also excited for this reason that we have the time scheduling so that you'll know exactly what time to pick up your cupboard and you won't cross paths with another troop at that time to, again, minimize contact and keep everyone as safe and healthy as possible. Cupboards are going to order open on Thursday, February 4th. So you definitely need to make sure you have enough cookies to get you through to that. Now, if you wanted to have your cookies on February 4th, what day would you want to place the order for those cookies? Anyone? So it would be February 1st. Yes, Gail, perfect, thank you. So knowing that IOs will most likely be lower, any chance the IO incentives will reflect that, the lower numbers required. So I believe it is 275 packages. So it is, we set it just at 1 level, and it's reflective of what the per girl average was last year. For the initial order, I think it's a patch for the girls and pad folios for the leaders. And that is kind of like a stretch goal sort of incentive. That's for our more experienced troops. Now, our brand new troops that order 125 packages per girl will receive the Girl Scouts of Colorado tablecloth and a cookie rookie patch. So we do have that entry initial order reward. And I'm going to show you where to put that in the system in a minute here. Gotcha. Well, yeah. So it is per girl, which is the good thing. And it is per registered girl, but Okay, let's see here. Got all that. Okay. So how much to order for an initial order? So these example forecasts are based on the 2 initial order reward levels. So this would be your number of cases per kind of cookie. Hold on, what is this? Okay, so this is the breakout. So if you're ordering 125 packages per girl, this is the number of packages of kinds of cookies. So this calculator is on the cookie resource page to show you kind of the breakout. This has been our true breakout in this cupboard for the last several years. So we update it every year to reflect it. Now, we do show lemon ups at they sold about 7% last year. So that could be a small bump because it's new. So you could, if you wanted to, order a bit down in lemon ups. There are 12 packages of cookies in every case, and all of the cookies are $4 other than the s'mores, which are in organic non-GMO cookie that are made on a special line, and the Toffee-tastic cookie, which are the gluten-free. So you're going to kind of want to ask questions like what each girl's individual goal is. Do you have a girl that's shooting for 2,500 this year? What's your troop goal? How many booths are you going to do? How close and available is your nearest cupboard? I definitely suggest, if you have really specific questions about this, our service unit cookie managers are experts on initial orders. And they will, even sometimes your service unit cookie manager might come back to you and say, I think you're ordering too many s'mores. Like, let's bring that down and we'll get them for you later if we think you need them. But they know it's harder to troop transfer the $5 cookies and the $4 cookies. So sometimes they'll be on the lookout to make sure that you're not going to be overburdened with those. Now, we are a no return council. So what you order for initial order, your troop is responsible for. Now, if you find you have too many cookies, or you have girls that decide not to participate between the time you place your initial order and the time you pick up, you're going to use that cookie exchange right away to place your cookies. We always ask troops to go to that cookie exchange prior to placing a cupboard order. And our cupboard managers, and I know I have Laura Clark on, and I think actually I might ask her to just kind of talk for a little bit of a minute here about good ways to monitor for that before you place a cupboard order, if you don't mind, Laura.
Okay, sorry, I got half of that question. So you want to know the best way to pick up cookies without coming to a cupboard?
No, I was just kind of talking about how we all work together to make sure that nobody gets stuck with cookies.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We don't want your girls stuck with cookies. So the earlier you tell us, the earlier we can find troops that will want your cookies. Absolutely. Yeah. We have the online tool, but if you tell me as a cupboard, hey, I've got 40 cases of Thin Mints I have to get rid of, which you should never have that many to get rid of. But and a troop comes to me and says they want a bunch of cookies, I'm going to send them to you first.
So everybody is really looking out for you. If you have a problem where you think you have too many of a kind of cookie, just let us know, and people will work to get them from you. If you're not part of your regional Facebook page, that is also a great place. If you're like, hey, I'm really in a bind, you'll be surprised. People will come and they will take your cookies. They will take your cookies to use as Hometown Hero prior to going to a cupboard. So just communicate, and receipts. That'll keep you fine all through cookies. All right. So these are the initial order rewards that we talked about earlier. So a first-year troop with an initial order of 125 packages per girl will earn the Girl Scouts of Colorado tablecloth and the Cookie Ricky patch. And troops with an initial order of 275 packages will earn the Padfolios for the adults and the Goal Getter patch for the girls. Okay, so delivery site selection. Troops will be able to select their cookie pickup type and location. So you're going to place your order, and they're not loaded in there yet, but then you're going to pick your delivery site. So we have in Region 4, we have the same places that we had last year. We're still going to use the Sky Sox, Rocky Mountain Vibes Field, and New Life Church. Pueblo will still pick up at WIT. In Region 6, I believe you have all of the same locations as well, right?
Yeah, we had 2 covers that combined into one over in the Littleton area, but other than that, all of the others are returning cupboards, yes.
And delivery sites as well?
The delivery sites, yes, they're all yeah, I believe they're all the same.
Awesome.
I think we finally confirmed the last one. There might be one more that we're confirming, but they should all be the same.
Awesome. So the system will automatically tell you how many delivery slot times you need based on how many cookies you have. You'll show up at your delivery site. You'll drive through the variety of cookies. It's really an amazing thing to see. And the cookies will be placed in your cars as you go. If you have the 500 packages or more, you'll go to your appointment and receive your whole order at once. You do not want to bring kids or pets to you don't want to bring kids or pets to delivery day. So they are working warehouses with warehouse workers. A lot of the sites will turn you away if you have kids or pets in the car, just because they're putting packages in. They don't want cookies to fall on you. It's sort of a liability kind of issue. Okay, so like we said, that just-in-time training for digital order card that's going to answer a lot of the specific questions will be posted by mid-December. GSUSA is updating all of the digital cookie tip sheets. We're going to have those all available for you. Excuse me, and look for those on our cookie resource page later in December. Our use of the digital order cookie platform in Colorado is really, really strong. So I do think that this girl delivery option is going to be a big boost to your girls. We are going to do a program that runs alongside of it called, there'll be an opportunity for girls to earn their Porch Pixie patch. It's very cute. So they'll take a girl delivered order and then they'll call whoever placed the order, make sure that they're going to be home so that we don't have chocolate sitting out on a porch, because in the Colorado sun, we know that can be very intense, even if it's 20 degrees outside. And the girl will do their Porch Pixie thing. So they'll take the order, they'll wrap it up, they'll add their thank you note and go pixie it on the porch and run off. And the whole thing can be contactless. And then there will be a way for them to kind of tell their story and get that Porch Pixie patch. So we're pretty excited to have a cute name and a fun program, better than saying kind of, ding dong COVID ditch or whatever we're doing. So we are excited for that and looking forward to this option. Also, if your girl gets a crazy number of girl delivered packages between initial order and cookie delivery day, help your family prioritize their orders. If some of them are for grandma and Uncle Ben, even though they might want their cookies right away, you might be able to say, hey, whoa, I got a lot more orders than I thought of, and my troop leader needs to go to the cupboard. So would you guys mind being the ones that wait till next week for me to deliver your cookies? And a lot of times, there's options like that. So, and if not, you can check the cookie, your troop leader, your troop cookie manager can check the cookie exchange and might be able to find the cookies for you even sooner than they could place a cupboard order. Okay, so this is what your starting email for digital order card is going to look like. And like I said, you're going to get all those resources around the time the digital order card comes out. So I'm not going to get super in the weeds with this right now, but we will kind of post. You'll know that an email has come out. You'll start to see your families register. You'll register and check your resources. There is a digital cookie mobile app that you're going to want to download. I'm sure if you don't already have it downloaded, it's already available. So new this year, girls will be able to take a photo of the credit card instead of typing in the numbers. So it's not a photo per se. It's like if you have to verify your card on Amazon and you hold your phone over the credit card, it picks up the numbers and pre-fills them in, but it does not save them. So when we used digital order card before, we would have to type in the customer's entire credit card number. This is for the digital order card. Some troops do use Square or things like that because they prefer to use the reader, and that's fine. We just don't pay the fees and we don't support that as Girl Scouts of Colorado. So that's kind of an on your own thing if your troop decides to do that. We pay all of the fees for digital order card for you. And it's a lot of fees. So I highly encourage troops to use this. and to take advantage of the fees being paid for credit card transactions for them. So the customer this year, the girl will be able to hold the phone or the device at the cookie booth, and it'll pick up number and expiration. I don't know that it's going to pick up name, but we've always been able to just put the X's into the name. You just have to put the email address in for the receipt. So yes, it's getting there. We do, of course, hope for a card reader at some point, but we think that this is going to help with those frozen little fingers at cookie booths and things like that. All right, so these are the 4 options for digital cookies. So customers can donate cookies there. That these will be through gift of caring. So we have 2 different kinds of donated cookies. One are Hometown Hero cookies and one are gift of caring cookies. Gift of caring cookies come straight from the baker in Kentucky and are shipped to various places, overseas military bases, VA hospitals. That's a whole partnership. Hometown Hero is an organization that your troop chooses to work with. So these are cookies you'll actually have in your inventory that you'll take payment for, and then you will bring to the organization at the end of the cookie program. This is a really good way to help manage your inventory as well. So, for example, we live in Monument. We have a food bank here called Tri-Lakes Cares. So if a troop chooses to have a box out for Tri-Lakes Cares, then customers could choose to purchase a package of cookies at the booth that's going to go to Tri-Lakes Cares. So you would put a package of cookies in for everyone that the customer purchases into your little box that goes to Tri-Lakes Cares. The nice thing here is that you can trade out the varieties depending on what you have left at the end. So you might at the beginning start out with customers or choosing their varieties, and that's fine. You might have 20 packages of Thin Mints. Well, at the end, you might not be able to get Thin Mints, but you might have some extra Lemon Ups. So you can trade out your Hometown Hero cookies. You can take your Thin Mint cookies out of the bin that's going to Tri-Lakes Cares and replace them with Lemon Ups. So this lets you get rid of your onesie twosie packages at the end. They're paid for, they're going to be donated, and it helps you manage your inventory down to 0. All right. And Carrie did make a good point. It is good to have the name of the customer in case there is a problem with the card. Usually, you do have the email address. Usually it goes through entirely there at the booth, but having a name is a good one to follow up with. Hometown Hero does get complicated when the $5 boxes are leftovers. We do encourage Hometown Hero cookies to be the $4 packages of varieties, and that you really want to sell the $5 ones. Otherwise, your troop is usually kind of eating that extra $1. All right. So we did talk about delivery day pretty extensively already. Any initial orders that are not scheduled on delivery day will be returned to the warehouse, and those cookies will not be available for pickup until February 2nd. If you know you're going to have a problem getting to initial order day, if you have an emergency come up, if something happens, contact your service unit cookie manager as soon as possible. Okay, so Amy asked if we would need to enter our Hometown Hero as a DOC in hand. Yes. The donated option in the DOC is for gift of caring packages. Now, you can enter it as a gift of caring package and move it to a Hometown Hero package in eBudde on the back end. You just need to keep track of if your customers wanted it to go to your local food bank, but if they specifically wanted it to go to the troops, you would not want to move it out of the gift of caring column. And I'm going to show you all of that here in a little bit. All right, there is a no return policy on cookies. However, if the cookies are damaged, if you're missing a package out of a case, if there's a crushed package, a sealed but empty package, or returned by a customer because it tastes funny, those will always be able to be exchanged at a cookie cupboard for the exact same variety. So they'll switch you out for any damages or anything like that you have. TCMs are responsible for all cookies received. This does not mean that you're paying for all cookies received. If you're unable to sell them, what this does mean is that we expect you to be good stewards of the cookies while you're in possession of them, that you're taking good care of them, that you're protecting them from weather, all of that kind of stuff. Troop confirmation. Okay, so we're going to have a new electronic confirmation and receipt for delivery day. So what you're going to do when you get to the delivery site, there's going to be a phone number to text your pickup code to when you get there. You're going to send out the pickup code to them, and then later on, once you get home and count the cookies, you're going to confirm the count. So this is just another way that we're going to add this contact list. And this will all be on your confirmation sheet, and it'll give you all of the examples. And this is what your text message will look like. You have checked in to pick up 39 cases for your troop. Please wait for the delivery clerk to release them to you. The person who's working the delivery site will then release those cookies, and you'll confirm the delivery. So you don't even have to roll down your window. All right, and that's just more examples of that. So booth selection dates, round 1 is going to be 1 booth on January 25th, 2 on January 26th, 3 on the 27th, 4 on the 28th, and then on the 29th, we'll open it up to 100 total booths until February 8th when it opens to everyone. So as we mentioned at the beginning of training, we are planning to move forward with in-person cookie booths in front of storefronts, along with exploring alternative options. So Walmart has asked us not to contact them until the beginning of January, but they are letting us know that they are, open to the idea, and we're hoping that we're able to do it. We are looking at maybe even having booths near the pickup areas, where customers are now driving in and picking up groceries. So we're going to be looking at all of those options. We just don't know yet, unfortunately, with our big vendor partners. So nobody has yet told us no, but we don't have official confirmations. Yes, I think a lot of stores are kind of in a wait and see mode to see what numbers and everything look like. So as soon as we now know this information, we're going to be shooting it out to you any way that we can. We are already working with vendors. I know in Colorado Springs, the library said yes. They're not a particularly fantastic booth site, but it was very encouraging that that they did say yes, that we do have some folks. Is there a risk of Walmart kicking us out like last year, or do we think that was a one-time thing? So we did have a location in Colorado Springs where there was a new personnel person, and she booked Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts at the same time, and canceled some booths with no notice. So I think that was a one-time thing. She apologized. We do leave copies of the booth agreements. I think that was just an unfortunate situation. However, sometimes those kinds of things do happen, unfortunately. Also, it's possible this year that we might gain booth agreements, and then the stores might cancel them after we've taken them. So unfortunately, we're just going to have to be flexible. S'mores first pick for booth dates. That email will go out to all the troops that qualified for the s'mores pick with the dates. All right. Oh, we're at another question spot. Anybody? All right, I'm going to keep on going to try to get you out of here for 8 o'clock. Is there any talk of council supporting the alternative booth sites? Do you mean like drive-through sites?
Yeah. Like, is there any, is council talking about the possibility if in-person storefront booth sites are like not really going, setting up alternative sites that would be drive-through, but we would still sign up through eBudde like we do for council sites?
Yeah, we do have our committees kind of already working through that. We are going to ask King Super and Walmart if we can't be right in front of the store, can we do a drive-through? Can we be in the pickup location? So yes.
Okay.
What we don't want to do though, because we know a lot of troops are out there looking for other sites, we don't necessarily want to step in, but we're hoping that there's going to be a lot of selections available. Jamie says, I wish it didn't go from 4 booths to 100 right away. That makes it hard to get anything once 100 become the limit. Could it go from 3 to 10 to 100? That's really good feedback. It is already programmed and printed for this year, but I will definitely add that in for next year. It used to be that it went from 7 to 100. So now it goes from wait, does it go from 4 to 100? I thought it went up to 10 and then to 100. Hang on.
Yes, it's from 10 to 100.
But it doesn't say. Oh yeah, so yes, it doesn't go from 4 booths. It's 4 on that day. So it's a cumulative 10. So it does, you get 1, and then on the second day, you'll have a total of 3, and then on the third day, a total of 6, on the fourth day, a total of 10, and then on the 5th day, up to 100. So yeah, because we were getting that feedback, and so we did kind of increase the number that you get before that opening. Okay. So our cookie program is set to begin on January 31st with booths, door-to-door, my sales sites. Cupboards will open on February 4th, and February 7th is the Super Bowl. Council booth lists usually come out in a couple of days before council booths open. We just, as soon as we know about our big partners, we'll let you know. Super Bowl patch this year. I do not know that is a shop promotion along with Marcom, so details on that should be out really soon as well. I think it just depends if we're encouraging sort of door to door. It might be that it's 50 Porch Pixie packages, or we will have those contests or those, those extra patch opportunities running alongside the program. So just kind of, I know it's frustrating to keep hearing sort of be on the lookout, but things are evolving pretty quickly right now. And so, but we will definitely have, a whole set of different patch opportunities like the Porch Pixie one and that kind of thing. Okay. A troop consists of 2 unrelated registered and background checked adults, as well as a minimum of 3 unrelated registered girls. Now, 3 unrelated registered girls do not need to participate in the program. They just have to be registered in the troop. It is okay. And it was like this last year too, but I know there's been some confusion back and forth over the years with this. If you have a troop that has the 2 unrelated registered and background checked adults and 3 unrelated registered girls, and only 1 is choosing to participate, that troop will still earn proceeds. Now, if you have 2 sisters in a troop and 1 other girl, and that's the only people in the troop, even if all 3 participate, they are not able to earn proceeds. Okay. Now, if your troop is open in the catalog and you're working at recruiting and there's some kind of issue, talk to your VSS, okay? Because there may be exceptions able to be made, especially in this year, if you have been actively trying to get more girls into your troop. So please just, again, communicate with us and let us know, those kinds of issues. Girl Scouts should always be a sister to other Girl Scouts when they encounter anyone selling cookies. And as always, we're going to watch for updates to be posted to the blog. Girls can announce on social media sites that they are selling cookies. They are allowed to post their digital cookie link on private social media sites where only friends and family, not the general public, can see it. They will not want to post their digital cookie link on websites such as Twitter, eBay, Craigslist, or other website social media platforms where the posts can be viewed by the public. Now, though it is okay to say, in this neighborhood, the girl's gonna have a cookie booth set up at the park on Saturday at 2 o'clock, come see her, or come see us because parent will be there too. So the difference between posting the digital cookie link on private social media sites and public comes down to girl safety if girl delivery is selected. So personal emails and street addresses of girls should never be used. Instead, use an adult's account or a group account that is managed by an adult. Okay. We did have this question come up. So girls 13 and over manage their own digital order card accounts in Girl Scouts of Colorado. However, the parent or caregiver still has to approve girl delivered orders. So we did just get that clarification because that was a concern that had come up. All my sales sites are subject to approval. They will not be denied based on just being located near an adult-oriented business. They must meet safety and security guidelines, and there must be a bathroom plan in place. So that doesn't always mean there needs to be a bathroom on site. It could mean that there, is an extra, adult or 2 that's able to take a pair of girls to a bathroom at a nearby business if needed. City rules about booths and parks. I think you would just need to contact whatever city's park that you're trying to hold a cookie booth in. I was kind of saying a neighborhood park might allow, like in an HOA, a girl to be there with booths at a certain time, and you could say something in next door like come at 2 o'clock for your Girl Scout cookies. But yeah, I would always just check in wherever you're trying to hold a My Sale location. You just need to check in with that location and find out what all of the rules are. Sometimes it's not enough to just have a store's permission. You have to have the property manager permission as well. Diane asked, will My Sale sites be allowed right next to a council booth at the same time? Yes, we are not able to, there's a cookie booth locator. We encourage everyone to check that locator to see what cookie booths are around them. We are not, a lot of times we just don't know if something is right next to it or not. So we don't have a way to kind of go in and differentiate between that. Most service unit cookie managers will let them know, like, hey, you know, there is a booth right next door to that. So you might not want to do that, or kind of let both troops know, but we don't deny them based solely on that reason. So council booth sites that we are coordinating currently are GNC, that's new this year, Safeway, City Market, King Super, Albertsons, Walmart, Dunkin' Donuts, Joann's, and Sam's Club. So you cannot contact those locations to ask about cookie booths. Troops must not contact these locations. Okay. New GNC store partnership. So we will be contacting Walmart at the beginning of January and letting you know, and we are making the ask of council booth vendors, not only for storefront booth locations, but where relevant, order curbside pickup and parking lot locations. So we are looking at all of those different options. My Sales booths are the ones we kind of spoke about earlier, that are booths you set up on your own. It might be that you know, your troop sets up outside of a local breakfast place, or they set up outside of a florist on Valentine's Day and you make little you know, packages with ribbon or something to advertise for Valentine's Day. All right. My Sale booths will run the whole cookie program January 31st to March 7th. You must receive location approval from the location manager. Make sure you put the manager's contact information. Sometimes multiple managers at a location will give multiple troops permission to be at a location at the same time. So we particularly had this with a Lowe's in Pueblo last year. We had 4 different managers approving 4 different troops, and we ended up with 4 troops there on a Saturday because they'd all talked to someone different. So the rule is that whoever is an eBudde first gets the My Sale booth, though sometimes we will work with the troops, you know, if one troop reserves it for the entire season, but the other troops talk to someone else, we can try to kind of negotiate between the troops with that. But it's always good. Make sure you have good information about who you spoke to. A lot of troops will give them something back to post, like on the bulletin board or on the calendar, that says, you know, troop blah, 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 blah is going to be here on these days. So that's kind of a good sort of rule of thumb to have. We do not have any kind of form for you to use, but you could definitely make your own. I know people share them out there. So virtual My Sale booths will not need to be submitted for approval. So some really cute ideas, and we will have a virtual cookie booth. So some troops are going to do like a telethon type cookie booth. Well, they'll have girls do their talent and have their VOC links and invite friends and family to a Zoom, or they'll go live on Facebook. So those are some kind of neat and innovative ways to tackle it this year, particularly with all of the COVID issues. Entering a My Sales booth, you're going to go to the booth sale tab in eBudde, and this is all in your TCM guide with step-by-step instructions as well. So you're going to use the little toggle to move from between council booths and My Sales, and you do have to enter all of the information for every date and time, and then your service unit cookie manager will either approve or deny them based on if another troop has them or not. Is Bass Pro on the no contact list? It is in Colorado Springs. I'm not sure about Denver. Maybe Kyle can comment that later. Some new ways, drive-through booths. We've talked about these things pretty extensively. I know we're getting close on time. So we will have this alternative cookie booth guide out to you very soon with all of the extra details. We did talk about donating already. The Cookie Care campaign is going to be similar to what they did last year, where a customer who's looking for shipped cookies can go in and it will randomly It will ship the cookies to the customer and randomly assign the cookies to a troop. So we don't have screenshots on this yet, but this will be happening simultaneously with your cookie program. You will not have to do anything. The cookies will ship from the warehouse and your troop will be credited with it. It's going to work through a randomizer. So more details on that to come, but there will be some additional. This started back in spring as a way to help troops get rid of inventory. There were some councils that had a lot of cookies. And so there was a big campaign that went out where customers could just order from girls, and it was a totally random way of assigning them, but helped to get some girls selling back when things were extremely, extremely locked down. So details to come. You won't have to opt into this. You won't have to do anything to take advantage of this. And we will share more information in January. Booth etiquette, things to consider. We're going to follow all current CDC state and local COVID-19 safety guidelines. Volunteers, Girl Scouts, and their caregivers are very much in the public eye. Be extra considerate. Look for a best booth practices webinar and tips in January. New safety considerations. These are all going to be in your in the alternative booth guide. We're also going to update them on the website. We're just going to make sure that we're following all of the current COVID guidelines. We've talked through most of this already. Oh, girl deliver does not necessarily have to be the girl delivering to the house either. It could be that the girl takes girl delivered orders and talks with her customers and does a pickup at her house. If these are all people that are friends and family, you could do like a COVID style drive-through outside your house and have your customers all come through on one day and have their cookie orders ready to go. So just, lots of different ways to kind of think about and approach this. If you are not able to work a booth, you want to make sure that you release it so someone else can have it. There is a wait list feature in eBudde where troops can sign up. Troops will usually particularly sign up for the time slot before and after their time at like Walmart or King Super. So please make sure you're being a good sister to every Girl Scout and you release a booth that your troop is not able to work. Then the email will go out and another troop will pick it up. We talked about that. Okay. So your cookie cupboards are volunteer run and are placed strategically throughout the state. You do have to order your cookies 72 hours in advance and check their orders. Please, please, please be kind to your cookie cupboard managers. Also, please note their phone numbers are in eBudde, so you can call them if you have questions or email them. But please recognize that they are volunteers, often with their own girl or troop, as well as jobs and other things. So there is no reason to call a cookie cupboard at like 2 o'clock in the morning. No cookie emergency is worth that. It does happen. Please, just be considerate to that. I do see a question in the chat. Will booths be allowed to accept cash? Yes, as of right now, though, if a troop feels more comfortable saying contactless payment only, a troop can certainly do that. They just put up your own signs, that kind of thing, and let your customers know. I think more and more people are turning to not cash. And so the girl delivery option, as well as being able to take the photo of the credit card, is really going to help us with that. All of our cupboard pickups are electronic now. So you'll get to the cupboard. You do need to know your eBudde password because you will type it in and confirm your order. If we go to a complete sort of lockdown, look for information on cupboard orders may be completely contactless. So your cupboard manager will know what time you're coming. Your order might be placed in a driveway. You'll pick it up and there might be a way that you'll text them and let them know, hey, I did get my order. Everything was correct. I counted it. So we'll be making those kind of adjustments on the fly in response to the COVID guidelines. So this is where you'll now place your cupboard order, choose the date, and choose the time. It will not necessarily, it's not our time slots. It's going to be probably 10 or 15 minutes, whatever the cupboard manager decides to share or decides to have, whatever they're comfortable with as far as folks coming and going to their homes. I know I have a lot of Region 4 folks on this call. We did add 2 new cupboards this year. So we have one in Black Forest that Vicki Tussey is running. And then we have a new one in the West area that Gretchen Solidium is going to be running. So we did add some, because I know Laura's cupboard can get very backed up and the fountain cupboard can get very backed up. So we added, try to take some of that stress off there. They do an amazing job, but we don't want to have congestion wherever we can. So the eBudde app, again, just make sure you download that. It's good to have on the go. You can do everything you can do on eBudde on the computer in the app as well. So your inventory management is really key. We will have some webinars with more inventory management. There will be walkthrough videos, and we will be here to help you with that. It is recommended that you seek a commitment from the girl and her caregiver for the minimum number of cookies she will sell, or you let your families know the last day that you'll accept returned cookies. So this is kind of what I recommend. And when you have your parent fill out the permission slip, you're going to explain to them, okay, I'm going to check out cookies to you on January 31st. I will take cookies back from you until such and such a date. A lot of troops will have it be 2 weeks after the start of the program or 3 weeks after the start of the program when the troop still has booths left to sell those cookies. So it might be that if the program starts on the 31st, you're letting all of your families know, hey, I will take your cookies back until February 14th or February 15th, maybe after that weekend. But after that, any cookies that you're still holding, you are responsible for paying for. So it is good to have a firm deadline with your parents for that, okay? And then you'll send them a reminder 3 days before, hey, everybody, last call to bring cookies back to me. And you'll want to then base your next covered order. You won't want to place it until you see what your parents are bringing back. Hopefully it's not going to be a lot. Hopefully it'll be a little bit of what you need, and they might actually come back for it from you later, which is okay. But it's really important to communicate that time, and especially I think in this year, just to let them know, hey, after this date, you're responsible. Do eBudde site walkthrough videos and tip sheets we'll post in December. And it is giving you the TCM guide pages too. So I know that you may not have a physical copy right now, but it is on the website if you want to take a look through it. Everything we're talking about is listed in detail, step by step in there as well. Make sure you have a receipt for every transaction. We'll say it again, and make sure you have that permission slip. So every receipt that you have will then be a transaction in eBudde. So you'll go in under each girl and you'll enter how many cookies they took out, how much money they gave you, their DOC payments will flow into there. So it's going to do all of the accounting for you, but it's good to have those paper receipts as backups. Okay. Any questions before we go on to money handling and close out? I promise I'm going to try to get you guys done by 8:30. All right, and then I will hang out for questions. So if you have them, but we can stay after that. So, all right, money handling and close out. So our cookie program is going to end on the 7th. Troops are going to close out in eBudde between the 7th and the 9th. We will have closeout trainings and open office hours on these days. So if you need help closing your troop out, we will be available to you. So you're going to zero everything out, submit all of your cookie reports, complete all of your rewards, check in with your service unit cookie manager to let them know that your troop is done. Money problem reports are due by March 12th. So a money problem report is what you're going to use if you have basically a money problem. So reasons you might use it. You accepted a counterfeit $20 bill, not a $50 bill because we don't take those at booths. But if you accept a counterfeit $20 bill and you go to make a deposit at the bank and the bank lets you know you have a counterfeit bill, they'll give you a little slip of paper as proof. You'll enter a money problem report and we will reimburse you for that counterfeit bill. If you have a parent that will not pay, you will submit a money problem report by March 12th. Do not take your parents' word for it if they promise they're going to pay on the 15th. Submit the money problem report on March 12th. If they pay you on March 15th, we will cancel the money problem report, okay? But after the 12th, you do not have a way to submit it. If you submit a money problem report and you have the permission slip and the receipts that the parent took out the cookies and but they do not pay you for it, your troop will not be responsible for those cookies, okay? We will remove that liability from your troop so that your troop is not out those funds. So, but the permission slip and the receipts are a huge part of that. We have to have that proof that the parent took those cookies, okay? So there will be a form stack link that you'll use, and that'll have to be in by March 12th at 8 p.m. We did change all of our deadlines and times. Everything is due at 8 p.m. On on all of the days. So closeout is by 8 p.m. Initial orders due by 8 p.m. Money problem reports are due by 8 p.m. ACH debit is going to occur on March 17th for the total amount that you still owe council. And cookie credits will begin to be mailed to the girls in mid-April, and rewards will go out late April. Couple of questions. What happens to the parent and girl once there's a money problem report? We will work with them on a payment plan. And then as a very last resort, it will go to collections. But we will make every attempt to come up with a payment plan with the parent or guardian that we can. And it will not preclude the girl from participating in Girl Scouts moving forward. Okay. DOC does close and end on March 7th, also at 8 o'clock p.m. All right. All money collected from the cookie program should be deposited into your troop bank account. Keep all your bank deposit receipts. Do not keep large sums of money in your home or car. Don't accept bills larger than 20s. There are no fees for the DOC. If you do not decide to use the DOC and you use Square, you can do so, but at your own risk. Troops can choose to accept checks, but those are at their own risk as well. So we will not reimburse for an NSF check or for counterfeit bills or 50 or 100. We will debit all cards on all accounts on March 17th. If you know you're going to have a problem with your ACH debit, like you still have some cookies, you have a planned booth that's going to be later. We have a troop in Pueblo that does the Flower and Garden Festival every year. They take out a big inventory of cookies because they know what they're going to do at the time. Let us know. We can make your ACH at a later date, but if you don't let us know that the ACH will fail, you will be fined if it doesn't go through. But if we can hold it, then we don't have to do the fine from the bank. So if you're having problems getting payment from a parent or caregiver, make sure you have your receipt, make sure you have your permission slip, notify your SUCM immediately. We will work, they will try to help you resolve the issue. If not, that's when you will do the money problem report and we will contact the caregiver to try to collect the debt. Troops are not to use troop proceeds to cover the outstanding balance. So you'll make sure that you submit that money problem report so that we remove that liability from the troop. If you use the troop proceeds to cover a bad debt, the girls lose out on their hard work. So fill out those receipts. Failure to pay GSCO any portion of the amount owed council by March 17th will result in the TCM being considered to have an outstanding balance unless proper paperwork has been submitted documenting that a parent had those cookies. Any TCM with an outstanding balance must contact council because the sooner you let us know, the sooner we can help you solve the problem. Okay, permission slips are important. Communication is key. The money problem report will be found under forms on the GSCO website. I believe last year we also linked it in eBudde on your dashboard. So it'll be available to you in a multitude of places. If you have extra inventory, notify your SUCM and VSS. Notify all the caregivers in your troop that, hey, so-and-so has an extra case of trefoils they're unable to sell. Does anybody need them? Do we need them for Hometown Hero? Can we bake something with them? Can we try to sell them at a booth with recipes? So lots of great ideas. Make sure you post that extra inventory. Notify if you have extra cookies so we can send them your way. And you can do booths after the program ends and you may continue to sell until April 30th. You just may not use any of the council contracted locations for those cookie booths. So the closeout process is that you will zero out the girls in eBudde, submit the girl reward order. Be sure to remind your parents and caregivers about making their reward selections. And check in with your SUCM. So just a reminder, we do encourage everything to be contactless, including rewards as much as you can. So you could set up times with your parents using a sign up genius for the girls to come pick up their rewards that you have pre-packaged and out on your porch. And that's it. We've got this. I know it's a lot of information. It feels very overwhelming. So I will, if anybody needs to go, they can. I will stay on here and answer questions. So Morgan asks, is it okay to not sign out cookies to potentially trouble parents or caregivers unless they are pre-ordered, like not sign them out unless the parent turns money into account for them? So you can't make them prepay for their cookies, but you can limit the amount they can take at a time. So if you have had a problem in the past, you could say, okay, parent, you can only have $100 worth of cookies out at a time, like 25 packages. And when you bring me back 75 out of the $100 you owe me, I will give you 75 more dollars in cookies. That's really the best way to handle that. Asking people to prepay for cookies means they've asked their customer to prepay for cookies, and we never really want a customer to prepay for cookies if they're not using the DOC. Does that make sense? Okay. Will we be able to order rally cookies this year, or is it not happening due to virtual rallies? Yes. And you should have gotten the rally cookie order form link from your service unit cookie manager. It is if your troop intends to hold a rally, then you can order cookies for that. So it might be that you're dropping off packages before you do a virtual rally, and it is different in different areas. So region, so I would check in with your PPS about that, because I know it's only at the service unit level, I think, in region 6. Is that right, Kyle?
Sorry, I was having problems unmuting. It depends. You know, but usually it'll come from the service unit managers. And they're all doing it a little bit differently, but who is your service unit manager? Or what service unit are you in?
She's region 4, and we do troop rally cookie orders here. I just was
Okay, because some of ours do troop, but generally we do service unit, so it just depends.
And it may be that you'll have to be flexible in picking up. It may be that we have like a 1 day in time pickup. We're still working that out because the offices are not open.
And this year is such a different year that, you know, that's part of the reason I'm kind of hesitating on this, is that, you know, like all bets are off, you know, as far as a lot of it goes. People are being very creative about how they're doing some of this. I know there's one unit where they are doing a rally, but they're doing it virtual, and the SUCM is doing drop-offs to the girls that are attending the virtual rally. So, you know, they're just all doing it a little bit different and creative this year. So it really just depends.
Yeah, so Jessica asked if they can contact the grocery store after they obtain a council booth to find out if they can add an extra area like pickup. We are going to ask those questions of the council locations when we ask them. And so just like we have door 1 and door 2, we won't add a 3rd door for pickup. It might be that, you know, door 1 is also the pickup area, or, you know, there's a door, or that it's just a drive-through booth in the back of the parking lot. That'll all be noted in the booth information. Jessica Boyd asks, how do you distribute the sales from a booth? So this is a really good question. You're going to get a lot of resources once the cookie program begins. So troop leaders have different ways of doing this. Some troop leaders will keep track of all of the booth cookies for the whole season and divide it by the total number of booth hours worked, and then allocate it to the girls. A lot of troop leaders feel this makes it a little bit more fair, because if a girl has a blizzard or a particularly slow day, and then another girl gets a particularly busy day, you know, if they did the work the same, they're getting the same amount of credit. An exception to that is normally the s'mores booth. So if you had like certain girls participate in the fall program that earn the s'mores pick, troop leaders will often just have the girls who participated in fall work that s'mores group and divide those up, because it's a first pick booth. So it's usually like a first weekend King Super. But there's a lot of different ways to do this. So I know that we send out screenshots to, like, I know you'll get weekly or bi-weekly emails from your service unit cookie managers throughout. And at the start of the program, we'll have screenshots showing you kind of how you'll distribute the booths. But there is a booth recorder where you can put all of the girls who worked, the number of hours they worked, and the number of cookies that they sold at that time. There's also a booth worksheet that you can download from the Girl Scouts of Colorado website and keep a paper copy from each booth, which really will help you track all of that information as well. Jamie asked information on non-traditional booth options. So we are going to have a non-traditional booth guide. So we will have it's in its final stages of being approved right now. So it's going to cover drive-through booths, virtual booths, and a couple other things that are still being worked on. It should be out very soon. You guys are the first training, so we're still pretty early. So giving a lot of information, but there's definitely going to be some details to fill in as we go. All right. Well, if nobody has any other questions, we will be at the cookie chats tomorrow from noon to 1 and from 6 to 7. So feel free to pop in and ask us anything. Also, you can email us directly or your service unit cookie manager. If you're already in eBudde, your service unit cookie manager's information does show in your dashboard. So I hope you all have a good night. We really have got this. I hope you're all feeling a little bit better about cookies. All right. Well, everybody have a good night. Thank you so much for coming.